So in this video on enjoying Jesus, I'm going to talk about my very first experience of dreaming of being in hell and what happened. So it was just a normal, I've been saved for a very long time since I was a child. I've been raised, in a certain denomination, and I'm not a part of that denomination anymore. In a Bible believing church. So, and not to say they weren't Bible believing, but I'm just trying to explain denominations don't really matter to me. Who believes the Bible, who follows the Bible. Okay, that's who I want to be with. Those people. So I had been going to a Bible believing church, and I had a dream. And in that dream, I woke up and I was in hell. And let me just explain to you, when you have a spiritual dream, you immediately know what's going on. Like, it's just this unbelievable. I've heard other people talk about this, like with near death experiences. Like, they have just this, um, just open awareness, like open knowledge. And that's exactly how it was in my dream. I immediately knew where I was. I immediately knew I was in hell. And I immediately knew I was stuck there forever. I just knew it. It was just this instinctive. I knew where I was. I knew what was going on. And I remember I was stuck in this pit, and it was very small. It was probably like a 4x4 pit, but I was stuck in it. It had all this tar in it. And I was stuck. Like, I could not lift my legs. I could not lift my legs out of this pit. And try as I might, I was so upset. And I'm sure you can imagine. I was so upset. Just devastated. And I kept saying, what am I doing here? What am I doing? I don't belong here. What am I doing here? Jesus save me. Jesus save me. Those things. And I was just like, I don't belong here. It's a thing, what I was saying. And as I'm saying this, I can see Satan in front of me, and he's leaning against this very rocky formation. And this really surprised me because there are all these little pits beside me, like lined up, like just like lines, rows, forever as far as you could see, of pits. And around me, we're like in a valley because all of this was just like rocky formation all around me, just like this barren, weird rockiness. It was just very odd. Not at all what I expected, but I instinctively knew that I was in hell. And so I could see Satan in front of me, but his face was blurred. But he was leaning against the wall, and he had a very like smug. It just came very across, very smug that I was stuck there. Nothing I do to get out. That he was very um, you know, it was awful. It was awful. And I'm just begging. What am I doing here? I'm saved. All these things that you would run through. I'm a Christian. What am I doing here? All these things that I'm saying. And then when all of a sudden I was plucked, like bloop, plucked out of this pit, and I started flying upwards. And I was flying upwards, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm flying. And so, like, the hell got smaller and smaller and smaller because I'm flying upwards. Okay, and I think I'm just flying, right? And I look over my left shoulder, and there is an angel, and he's carrying me up. And I can just see the beautiful, just the glossiness of the wings, the gold. I mean, it was just so beautiful. And he carried me up to like this outlook, like this overlook area, and it was grassy. And as he started to descend to set me, on this grassy area, I look out in front of me and standing at the edge of the cliff. This is the same cliff that I saw in my other vision. I look out over the cliff, and there's Jesus. There's Jesus. And I'm just like, like almost like a cartoon. My legs are spinning before I can even hit the ground, before he's even set me down. My legs are spinning, and I'm just trying to run as fast as I can. And as soon as he sets me down, I'm off like a shot, and I'm running straight to Jesus. I run so hard and so fast. And he has his arms out open because he wants to hug me. And I push his hand out of the way, and I fall at his feet, and I wrap my arms around his feet, and I'm crying, and I'm kissing his feet. And I said, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm just kissing his feet. And then I wake up. Okay, so that dream started everything. Okay, that started the entire fire that God lit in me, that an entire prophetic journey that He's leading me on, the me teaching. I mean, all of that, God orchestrated that beautiful dream. And I came to find out, understand later that, you know, there is a difference between loving Jesus and obeying Him than just simply being thankful that He saved you. And at that moment in time, I did not actually love Jesus. I was thankful that he saved me, and that's why I fell at his feet and I shoved his arm out of the way. So I fell at his feet out of gratitude that I was not in hell anymore and that he saved me. But I didn't truly yet love him. And that changed everything. When I actually started to love Jesus, I wanted to obey him. I wanted to follow him. And that's, part of creating these videos. There's no recognition involved or anything like that. There's no hidden agenda or anything like that. This is me sharing my experiences, sharing my prophetic revelations with the body of Christ for the purpose of building up God's kingdom for him, for his glory, for his glory. It's not easy to put yourself out there, but with God, all things are possible. There's a reason for this. I mean, and not only that, what a beautiful way that you can reach other people in an instant. Upload a video in an instant and have comments and be able to comment with other people around the world. So that is my experience. That very first vision, the very first dream, excuse me, it was not a vision, it was a dream. The very first dream that I had where I was in hell. And that cliff, it seems to be a reoccurring thing that I see when I see Jesus, is the cliff. So if you've had a similar experience, or if you've had a dream where you've been in hell, I've had other dreams about being in hell, which I'll share those also to see what these people say, have also those same experiences. I think the most shocking to me was the part that I was in, there was no fire. There was no fire there, but there was just that instinctive knowing that you're never escaping, you're never getting out of here, no matter how hard you try. I think too, I just have to say, I think there's also the deception that because you're saved, you know, um, I don't think that maybe not all of us who think we're saved really are saved sometimes. And I think that I feel like I was saved, right? But was I living a Christian life? Not really. No, not really. I really wasn't. I definitely wasn't being obedient to Jesus. And so it's something to think about. I don't want any person to be deceived and go to hell. I want every single person in the whole world to be saved. And that brings up another thing that God told me. So I'll have to do another video about that. So like always, God first, God always first.